There's a specific kind of loneliness that looks like a woman at a desk, working, productive, fine, and then her eyes drift to the window and she watches the neighbor water plants in a sundress for the 14th time this week and realizes she's timed the school drop-off schedule down to the minute. That's how her neighbor's wife opens, and it doesn't let go. Aurora North's latest just hit the Kindle Unlimited bestseller charts, and honestly, it earned it. This is Sapphic romance with teeth, a lonely freelance designer who moves to the suburbs to disappear, and the impossibly beautiful married woman next door who dances alone in her kitchen at night and doesn't know she's being watched. The marriage is open, the attraction is mutual, and the kitchen counter between them is about to become the most dangerous surface in the neighborhood. 5 chili peppers. Graphic, emotional. A slow burn that goes from voyeurism through a window to full detonation on every flat surface in 2 houses. Aurora North does not fade to black. She walks you into the room and locks the door behind you. If you've got Kindle Unlimited, this is already waiting for you. Link in the description. But first, we're giving you the full first chapter. Consider it a taste of the book everyone's been reading this month. Her Neighbor's Wife, Aurora North.
Chapter 1. The View from Here. The logo was wrong. Talia stared at the screen, chin propped on her fist, and tried to figure out exactly how it was wrong. The client, a boutique dog grooming salon called Positively Pampered, because of course it was, wanted modern but approachable, luxurious but fun. They'd sent a mood board of rose gold and marble textures alongside clip art of cartoon poodles, which told Talia everything she needed to know about the gap between their vision and their budget. She adjusted the kerning on the P for the 14th time, moved it back, tried a different weight, hated it. Her second monitor glowed with her inbox. 3 unread client emails she was pretending didn't exist, a Slack notification from a project manager who used too many exclamation marks, and a Google Calendar reminder that said dentist 2 p.m. Thursday, that she'd been rescheduling for 2 months. She should focus. Instead, her eyes drifted to the window. It wasn't intentional, not really. Her desk sat against the wall between 2 windows in her living room, positioned for natural light, because every freelancer blog she'd ever read said natural light improved productivity and mood. What those blogs failed to mention was that natural light also gave you a direct sightline into your neighbor's backyard and kitchen, and that once you started noticing the woman who lived there, productivity went straight to hell. The house next door was everything Talia's rental wasn't. A proper 2-story colonial with slate blue siding, white trim, a wraparound porch with hanging ferns. The yard was landscaped like someone actually gave a shit. Hydrangeas along the fence, a vegetable garden in raised cedar beds, a flagstone patio with furniture that matched. There was a playset in the back corner, bright plastic against the green, and a row of solar-powered lanterns that glowed amber every evening, like the whole property was being lit for a magazine shoot. The woman who lived there matched the house. She was out there now, crouched by the raised beds in a pale yellow sundress, pulling weeds or picking tomatoes, or doing whatever suburban wives did at 10 in the morning on a Wednesday. Her hair was down, honey blonde, and falling past her shoulders, catching the light every time she shifted. She wore gardening gloves that somehow looked elegant on her, and when she stood up, she pressed one hand to the small of her back and stretched, arching slightly, the thin fabric of her dress pulling across her chest. Talia looked away, looked back. She didn't know the woman's name. They'd never spoken beyond a distant wave when they were both retrieving mail at the same time, which Talia had returned with all the grace of someone being caught committing a crime. She knew the basics from observation. Married, husband who drove a dark gray Audi and left early and came home late when he was around, which wasn't often. 2 kids, a boy and a girl, both grade school age, who were loud. In the way, healthy, well-adjusted children were loud, shrieking in the sprinkler on hot afternoons, leaving bikes in the driveway that someone always put away before dark. She knew the woman ran in the mornings, ponytail swinging. She knew she had friends over sometimes. Other polished women with SUVs and athleisure, drinking rosé on the patio while the kids played. She knew the woman danced in her kitchen at night, when she thought no one was watching. Hips swaying to music Talia couldn't hear, wineglass in hand, moving with the kind of unself-conscious rhythm that made Talia's stomach tighten, in a way she'd stopped pretending was casual. She knew too much about this woman. She knew it, and she kept looking.
You're a creep. A lonely, unemployable creep who's developed a parasocial relationship with a straight married stranger through a window. This is literally the plot of a Dateline episode.
Her phone buzzed. Jess, how's the dog logo coming?
It's coming in the sense that it's making me want to drive into the ocean.
Charlotte doesn't have an ocean.
I'd drive to one. That's how bad this logo is.
Take a break. Go outside. Touch grass. Talk to a human person with a face.
I talked to the Starbucks drive-thru guy this morning. He said, "Have a good one." And I said, "You too." And that's my social quota for the day.
Babe, it's been 8 months.
I know how long it's been.
Have you at least downloaded Hinge again?
I've got to go, deadline.
She put the phone down and stared at the poodle. 8 months. 8 months since she'd packed her apartment in Raleigh into a U-Haul and driven 40 minutes to this suburb because her therapist said a change of environment might help. Because rent was cheaper. Because she'd walked in on her girlfriend of 2 years riding someone else's face in the bed Talia had paid for. And the city had become a minefield of restaurants they'd eaten at and bars they'd kissed in, and an apartment building she couldn't look at without feeling like she was going to throw up. The suburb was supposed to be a reset. Quiet streets, no memories, a fresh start. What it actually was: quiet streets, no memories, no friends, no community, and the creeping realization that she'd confused running away with starting over. She worked from her living room in the same rotation of oversized t-shirts and leggings, ordered the same pad thai from the same place every Thursday, and spoke to exactly 3 people on a regular basis: Jess, the Starbucks guy, and her mother, who called every Sunday to ask if she was eating enough, and had she tried that nice church group for young professionals. She was 28 years old, and her most meaningful relationship was with a woman she watched through a window.
Pathetic.
She saved the poodle file, pushed back from the desk, and went to the kitchen. Opened the fridge. Half a container of leftover lo mein, a yogurt 2 days past its date, and 3 La Croix. She grabbed a La Croix, cracked it, and leaned against the counter. The kitchen window faced the same direction as the living room. She could see the neighbor's yard from here, too. The woman was gone now. Inside, probably. The garden gloves sat on the edge of a raised bed. Fingers curled like a small surrender. Talia drank her sparkling water and thought about downloading Hinge again, and decided she'd rather chew glass. The soccer ball hit her fence at 4:30. She was back at the desk, deep in a revision that was actually going well for once, when the thud startled her enough to knock her La Croix off the desk and onto her lap.
Shit.
She dabbed at her leggings with a crumpled napkin, then looked out the window. A black and white soccer ball sat in her side yard, pressed against the fence like it was trying to escape back where it came from. On the other side of the fence, she could hear a kid's voice. "Mom, it went over." And then, Coming around the fence to her front yard, the woman from next door. Talia's brain did a quick, useless inventory of herself. No bra. Oversized Radiohead shirt with a coffee stain near the hem. Hair piled in a knot that had been neat 6 hours ago and was now closer to architectural collapse. Her glasses were smudged. She was 90% sure she had pen ink on her jaw from chewing on a marker cap during a Zoom call. She could pretend she wasn't home. She could absolutely pretend she wasn't home. She opened the door. The woman was shorter up close than she'd seemed from the window, still taller than Talia, but not by much. 5'8" maybe. She wore a white linen button-down, sleeves rolled to her elbows, and cut-off denim shorts that hit mid-thigh. Her legs were tan and toned in the way that suggested dedicated Pilates rather than genetics. Delicate gold chain at her throat, small hoops in her ears, and a ring on her left hand that caught the afternoon sun like a warning flare. She was beautiful. Not Instagram beautiful, although Talia was sure she was that too. Beautiful the way that only hit fully in person, the specific curve of her jaw, the warmth in her brown eyes, the faint freckles across her nose that no filter would have left in.
Hi, I'm so sorry. My son thinks he's the next Messi and our yard thinks otherwise. I think our ball landed in your yard. The ball. I heard it. I'm Ava, by the way. Ava Monroe. I've been meaning to come over and introduce myself for, honestly, an embarrassing amount of time. We moved in 3 years ago, and I'm just now saying hello. I'm the worst neighbor. No, I moved in 8 months ago, so technically I'm the one who... You're not the worst. I'm Talia. Talia, that's a gorgeous name. Thanks. It's Greek. Is that why you have the botanicals? Those are beautiful. Is that a peony?
Talia looked down at her own arm like she'd forgotten it was there.
Yeah, and hellebore and some maidenhair fern. I used to do a lot of botanical illustration before I switched to design, and catching herself. Sorry, you didn't come here for my tattoo history. The ball, let me... No, I want to hear it. I love that. Most people around here are scared of anything that isn't beige.
The way she said beige, like it was an indictment of a whole way of living, made Talia laugh before she could catch it. A real laugh. She couldn't remember the last time someone had pulled one of those out of her.
Let me grab the ball.
She walked around the side of the house, hyper-aware that Ava was following, which meant Ava was behind her, which meant Ava could see the coffee stain on her shirt and her leggings with the LaCroix wet spot on the thigh, and her general state of "don't look at me" that she'd been cultivating for the better part of a year. She picked up the soccer ball, turned. Ava was closer than she expected, standing just a few feet away, hands in her back pockets, head tilted slightly, looking at Talia with an expression that Talia couldn't quite read. Curious, maybe. Warm. Something.
Here.
Talia held out the ball. Ava took it, and their fingers overlapped on the surface for a half-second too long. Ava's nails were short and neat, painted a muted rose. Her hands were elegant, long fingers, thin wrists, and Talia had the wild, intrusive thought of those fingers curled around the stem of a wine glass, or wrapped in someone's hair, or...
Thank you. And seriously, I'm sorry about the intrusion. Liam's been on a tear lately. Every flat surface is a goal to him. It's fine. My yard wasn't doing anything important. What do you do, if you don't mind me asking? I see your lights on at weird hours. Not that I'm watching. That sounded creepy. I just mean I notice you're a fellow night owl. You notice me? I'm a freelance designer. Graphic design, some UX work. I work from home, which sounds glamorous until you realize it means I wear the same pants for 3 days and forget what day it is. God, I'm jealous. I would kill for that kind of freedom. I do a little interior styling, but it's mostly, well, the house and the kids keep me busy.
She said busy. the way someone might say trapped if they were too polite to use the real word. From the yard next door, "Mom, can I have the ball back? Mom!"
Duty calls. "Talia, it was really nice to finally meet you. Don't be a stranger, okay? I mean it. If you ever need a break from the pants situation, come knock. I always have coffee, and I almost always have wine, and I'm always in the mood for conversation that isn't about Minecraft.
I might take you up on that.
Please do."
And then she turned and walked back across the yard, soccer ball on her hip, bare feet in the grass. Talia stood there. She watched Ava toss the ball to her son, watched her laugh at something the girl said from the porch, watched her push open the back door and disappear into the house. Through the kitchen window, Talia could see her set the ball on the counter and reach for a glass. Wine, it looked like, even though it was barely 5. Ava leaned against the counter, took a sip, and looked out her window toward Talia's house. They saw each other. Ava raised her glass slightly, a small, private toast across the gap between their yards. Then she turned away, moving deeper into the kitchen where Talia couldn't see. Talia went back inside, sat down at her desk, opened the poodle logo. She didn't adjust the kerning. She didn't answer the Slack message or check her email or do any of the 12 things on her task list that were due by Friday. She sat there with her heart beating too hard and the scent of jasmine and vanilla stuck in her sinuses and the memory of Ava's fingers on the soccer ball, that half second of overlap, the warmth of her skin.
Ava. Even the name was unfair. 2 syllables, open-mouthed, the kind of name you could say breathless or whispered or... Stop it. She's married, she's your neighbor. She was being friendly. Normal people are friendly to their neighbors. Not everything is a sign.
She looked at the window. The kitchen light next door was on, casting a warm rectangle onto the darkening yard. She looked away. She looked back.
You are in so much trouble.
There's a specific kind of loneliness that looks like a woman at a desk, working, productive, fine, and then her eyes drift to the window and she watches the neighbor water plants in a sundress for the 14th time this week and realizes she's timed the school drop-off schedule down to the minute. That's how her neighbor's wife opens, and it doesn't let go. Aurora North's latest just hit the Kindle Unlimited bestseller charts, and honestly, it earned it. This is Sapphic romance with teeth, a lonely freelance designer who moves to the suburbs to disappear, and the impossibly beautiful married woman next door who dances alone in her kitchen at night and doesn't know she's being watched. The marriage is open, the attraction is mutual, and the kitchen counter between them is about to become the most dangerous surface in the neighborhood. 5 chili peppers. Graphic, emotional. A slow burn that goes from voyeurism through a window to full detonation on every flat surface in 2 houses. Aurora North does not fade to black. She walks you into the room and locks the door behind you. If you've got Kindle Unlimited, this is already waiting for you. Link in the description. But first, we're giving you the full first chapter. Consider it a taste of the book everyone's been reading this month. Her Neighbor's Wife, Aurora North.